What's up, everybody? And what we're going to be doing today is working on AC compressor on a cat-eye Chevy 2006. Right there. I don't know how well you can see that, but 2006, and has no freon in it. We found that it had a leak in the compressor coming past the actual magnetic ring, the pulley, whatever you want to call it, but it was leaking past there. We detected it with a sniffer. So what we're going to be doing is replacing the compressor, and I also think I have a condenser for this too. So I'm going to be doing condenser, compressor, I think a dryer, and new fittings like Schrader valves. I can't think today, having brain farts, but we're going to be doing all that here in just a second. So let me grab everything. We're going to get it all situated. Probably going to throw up the canopy, keep the sun off of me. A little warm today, and we'll get this done and over with. It's not a hard job, but it is good to know how to do it in case yours goes out. So stick with me and you'll find out how we do this. So we're going to start off by go ahead and removing the accumulator or dryer, whichever one you want to call it. There is a connector right here, and you will have to transfer this over to the new one. This is one of your pressure switches. And then with 13 millimeter, you can go ahead and release this. Try to do it one-handed. Come on, get on there. Probably too short, and there may be a little bit in there. As you can hear, it is hissing a little bit, but it shouldn't be much. Nah, it'd be coming out a lot quicker than this if there was a lot of pressure on it. Yeah, see? Alright, there's that one. Let me go get a deep socket real quick, and then I'll come right back and show you all this. I already broke them loose, but I'm gonna go ahead and get this, setting all the nuts up here. That one's still a little tight, but not too much. But you want to have two connections on the dryer, and then there's going to be one line beside it. That off. You can see it'll move a little bit, but there is a strap around it, and I do believe it is a 10 millimeter. Yes, 10 millimeter, and it is right there. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna take that off, and then your dryer should come right off. All right, we got that 10 millimeter off, and it should slide right off. There we go. There's your dryer right there. Like I said, you're gonna have to take that switch off right here. And most of the time those aren't too tight. Let me sit y'all down for a second. So like I was saying, most of the time these aren't too tight. You can probably thread it off by hand. Yeah. There it goes. And there is a seal right here, and it is like a Schrader valve on the inside. Here's the new one, and they're going to be two different ones. There's going to be one at 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock position. Just make sure that they are the same as what you got, and mine are the same. And do not have the part number on it. I bought this as a complete kit from Murray, or it's come from O'Reilly's. They're not sponsored, but the whole kit is a Murray kit. We're going to thread this back on. Like I said, don't have to be super tight. Alright, and the kit come with the condenser, compressor, accumulator, Orifice Tube. Even come with all the seals and gaskets, label to put on it to show when it was done, what oil, and it even come with PAG 46 oil, because that's what this calls for. Here's new caps and a new high pressure valve as well, so that is good. But this is the O-ring that comes with it, that goes on the part that goes on the firewall. Next step we're going to do is pull the Orifice tube out. We did go ahead and put everything back on. So you're going to need a 22 and a 19. A 22 to hold the big portion right here, and then a 19 millimeter to hold, to turn this one right there. So we're going to go ahead and pull that out real quick, and I'll show you what it looks like inside of there. Okay, we broke this loose. There is an O-ring right here, so we will replace that. And I cannot find my needle noses anywhere, but oh, there it comes. Didn't think it'd come out that easy, but I'm just using a pair of, well, not really a pair, but a piece of wire, and then I got some whelpers right here. Oh, there it goes. That's your Orifice tube right there, and you can see a little bit of debris on it. Yeah, a little bit more on the other side. Hold on, I'll show it to you. Oh yeah, there's some debris in there, but that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to catch it. So there's the old one. Let's grab the new one. Here is the new one right here. We did put some lube around the O-ring, and you're just going to push it in until it stops. And we're going to change this O-ring real quick, and then we'll tighten her back down. And that's everything you need to know pretty much to change an Orifice tube. Pretty much you just take this aluminum nut right here off, and that's a 22, that's a 19. Pull the hose back, pull the old Orifice tube out, change the O-ring, put the new one in, make sure you lube it up so it doesn't tear the O-ring, but push it in, then tighten it all back down. But I'm going to tighten this down, then we're going to actually start taking the condenser out on this, and we're going to make sure that we have the right one and make sure we have the right compressor as well. Okay, so we had a little bit of a setback. The condenser that I had gotten was the wrong one, but we're going to reuse the old one because they do not have the one that fits this in stock, because I was told that the truck had rear AC and it doesn't have rear AC, so the radiator I got was too big. I will post up a link to the correct one that is supposed to go with this one instead of that one right there, and I will put the updated part number in here. So like I said, we just used the old one because there was nothing wrong with it. We were just going to change it just because it come with the whole kit, but I'll let them know and we'll adjust the price for them on that and all that good stuff. But got it all back in now, tightened them all up, and everything is good on that. Our next step that we're going to do is actually remove the compressor, and to do this we're going to have to remove the serpentine belt first. And to do this, it's just the tensioner over here. Let me get you to where you can see it. Tensioner is right here. We're going to do that one, and we'll take serpentine belt off of the crank pulley, and then there is a smaller pulley or tensioner that holds the AC pulley belt on, and we'll change that. This is the belt. We are changing the belt as well. This is a Gates. The part number is K040378. But we're going to change that too. And what we're going to do first is, like I said, remove this belt and the other belt, take the lines off of it, and then we'll unbolt it. It's going to be kind of hard for me to show you what it looks like on the truck below, but whenever I get it off, I'll show it to you. The one thing I will say is you probably have to remove, there is a shield down there, like a cover on the bottom, and you will have to remove that. There's four or five 15 millimeter bolts that hold that in. Take those off, and then you can actually reach the compressor and belts and tensioner and all that for that. So I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling off the compressor, the belt and everything, so we can get the compressor off. Alright, here is the old one beside the new one. Everything looks the same. The bottom two bolts are the hardest to get off, especially if you have four-wheel drive. And I pulled mine out through the front, right in front of the harmonic balancer or crank pulley, whichever one you want to call it. But I did pull it out through there. And I will put the other one in the same way. The long bolt on the bottom, this back one, you're going to have to put that one in and then put it in there, because you cannot get it inside of the vehicle without putting it in first. Or actually it may be this one right here, this front one. Well, it's one of the two back ones, but I think it's this front one right here. You have to put that one in first, because you can't clear the frame and the four-wheel drive differential bracket doing it. I think it does recommend removing that bracket, but you can do it without doing that. But here it is right there. Your two AC ports go right here. Make sure you fill it up with oil before you put it in. Now, the way I like to do this is take these out, rotate this over, and get all the oil that's in there already out, and then measure it in, because they may not have the correct amount inside of it already. So a good rule of thumb is just to empty it and put the correct amount in there. This has front AC only, so we're going to be putting 7 ounces of PAG oil into this. So I'm going to take these out, put the right amount of oil in there, and then I'll stick it back on, and from there we will start charging it. I wanted to show everybody the part number for the compressor, because I just about forgot to show it to you. It is a Murray compressor, and the part number is 78377. We've got the vacuum pump going right now, and as you can see, we're pulling vacuum. And to get to the compressor hoses and the upper bolts, you go in through the inner fender on the passenger side. We did put new gaskets on everything, made sure everything was hooked back up, make sure everything was tight. But like I said, what we're doing now is actually checking for a vacuum on this. And you want to pull vacuum on it for about 15-20 minutes and make sure that it doesn't leak anywhere. If it goes down, you need to try to find out where the leak is coming from. But if it holds after you turn it off for, I'd say at least 15-20 minutes after you turn it off, if it holds and doesn't drop more than 3 to 5 inches of mercury, and like I said, 15-20 minutes, you should be good. And whenever you get ready to fill up the compressor with Freon, you can actually use that vacuum to help pull some of the Freon in, because it will cause a suction. Alright, it's been sitting for about 25 minutes now, and it's only dropped about 2 inches of mercury. It's down to about 24 now. So what we're going to do is actually start filling up the system. This calls for 1.6 ounces, or 1.6 pounds, I mean, sorry, not ounces, but 1.6 pounds, and that comes to about 24-25 ounces. And so what we're going to do, we're going to put 2 cans in it, see what the pressures and stuff are, and we'll kind of go from there. And I like using this little tool right here, this puncture can tool, and you always want to put it in on the low side. We're going to let it go till we hear it quit sucking the Freon in. Some people like to shake the can. You actually, to get it go in, you can heat up the can a little bit with a torch, just a little bit. Don't do it to where it's going to blow up on you or anything, but you can heat it up just a little bit to build pressure up inside of the actual can, and it will cause it to go in quicker. But we're going to let it do its thing, and then once I see it or hear it quit sucking it in too much, I'm going to crank the truck up. Alright, we are sitting at about 53 and 245, and pressures are staying steady. Don't see anything abnormal. I just put my thermometer inside, so it may be a little warmer than it actually is. We're sitting at about 60 degrees right here, but outside it is about 98 degrees right now, and that's not too bad with 98 degree heat outside with the humidity we got right now, because it did just rain a little bit also. Yes, my hands are dirty. It's from doing the bottom two AC compressor bolts, which are really close to the tie rods, and they got a little bit of grease on them. But don't worry, I'm not going to get it anywhere on the car. But like I said, everything is doing good. We are actually getting down to 60 degrees, so it is dropping a little bit. But this is pretty much going to conclude this video. So what I'm going to do is put all the part numbers and everything down below in the description. We'll put the correct part number for this truck, and I will also add that part number to the condenser for the rear AC as well. But I will put it for the front and rear, just so everybody has the part number for both. But I will attach links also. I will attach a link to a vacuum pump and an 134 gauges and the puncture can tool that I use. But if you got any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comment section below. Until next time, y'all have a great day.